mass. In addition,
what's going on there, guys?
living. Magnification 4.
Magnification 4, sir.
That is what is drawing us toward it, Captain. The same way it drew the Intrepid to her death.
Man, it's gonna be a shitty day. It's raining outside. Just sloppy. Absolutely nothing on the table today. You know, nothing to do.
The first time
This is a polyamorous relationship.
As far as what happens behind closed doors, it stays behind closed doors.
Exactly.
Okay. So kids, Corey Feldman. You know who he is? I do. I've been a fan of Corey most of my life, was super into Stand By Me, loved the Goonies, etc. As an adult, I discovered Rock and Roll High School Forever, thanks to you guys.
Are you ready to rock and roll?
If you're over 30, you probably know who he is, but what you may not know is that he once did an episode of Celebrity Wives Swap, where he and another celebrity swapped wives. So, exactly what it sounds like.
Oh, wow.
And I gotta say, I wasn't prepared.
He's an idiot, boy.
Here cooking them steaks right now. Y'all don't cook some kind of steak.
These people living better than I live. Shit, they're fucking homeless as a motherfucker.
Here cooking them steaks right now. Y'all don't
In
cook
the
some
middle
kind
of
of
the
steak.
street.
Yeah, we marinated some and cooked some.
Oh yeah.
Cooking steaks.
So what's going on, young lady? How you doing?
Cardboard.
Good, how are you?
What's your name? Where you from?
I'm a little trip, and I'm from here.
You from here? How old are you?
23.
23.
23, yeah.
What is a 21, 23-year-old doing out here in this homeless environment?
Just
Well, it's in the
not
middle
getting
of the
through
woods,
it,
at least.
a situation happened in my life, so that
So
kinda,
when you were young?
well, now and throughout life.
Okay, well, let's get to know you a little bit. Talk about your childhood. You grew up in a two-parent household?
I did, and I grew up in a trailer park
Mm-hmm.
with both parents. I got four brothers and a sister.
Right.
And I didn't really get along with my dad much in my life, but I was close with my mom, so
Daddy issues,
it
huh?
was different. But me and my dad never really had a good relationship ever.
Ever?
Not really.
It wasn't abusive, was it?
Mentally
abusive.
and physically on a.
Oh God, it's probably one of them people that they say it's mental abuse because you friggin' were told what to do and spanked.
Good old boys never meaning no harm. It's all you ever saw. Been in trouble with the laws ever since the day I was born. Hell yeah, proud of it. Chasing the world. The only way to lightning will be still. Oh, someday I might.
Jackson, but this here is
Mami, we're gonna let's make lead. Wow. Now today, I'm gonna show
Appreciate
you
the
how we
thumbs
make
up
rolling paper in prison.
for sure.
Get you some coffee. Get you like a half a spoon. You don't even need a whole spoon. Drop it in there. You need a little dab of water. Time out. Hold on. I'm bite. I got more water. Just a little dab of water. Just a little dab. I'm gonna show you how it looks. Hold on. Okay, now I got my coffee.
Everyone wants to look a little better. Maybe
Yeah, this might be my last live for quite a while. I was able to make one child support payment this month.
but
I don't think I'm going to be able to pull the second one off. And I know it's just a matter of probably days before they send a letter where I've got to go to court and explain why. I've got some side apps. If they would literally, if I could fast forward them about a week, I'd probably have enough money to make a little $20 payment in side apps. As long as you're trying, I'll give Arkansas that much. As long as you're trying, they won't put you in jail.
Seattle.
But by God, if they see you're not trying, you're not sending nothing in, your ass going to jail. I've already went. That's where I had my heart attack. They threw little motherfucking pills down the trash. I don't give a fuck. But that's part of life, you know. I mean, he doesn't come to me and tell me what he needs and stuff. If he did, I'd see to it regardless of what I had to do. He got it. I know where this money goes. I'm not stupid. And she's convinced him that I don't pay nothing. Look, if you don't pay nothing, you go to jail and you stay there. You pay. You're gonna pay. It's like the IRS. That's one thing you're not getting your ass out of. And I will owe that woman the rest of my damn life. I will die owing her. I've got in trouble for not paying child support or paying too little and stuff, and to make sure that I know he gets good Christmas presents, because I'll take the punishment to know that he's not getting the money split up.
We have an epidemic in the Coachella Valley, and it's not coronavirus, it's chemsex.
He's not going to let me cover him. I'm going to see to it the best I can. I cover him and only him.
Let's move.
Hey, you should try new Robitussin Honey Medi-Sooters for long-lasting cough and sore throat medicine.
It's so good, it seems like you'd want to stay on it.
File with a TurboTax expert for 100% accurate taxes
take
guaranteed.
It every day, take it to where it stays in.
Welcome to the Huberman Lab podcast, where we discuss science and science-based tools for everyday life.
How could you just wait for it? Like, well, I'm gonna go.
I'm Andrew Huberman, and I'm a
fucked up
professor of
in a month.
neurobiology and ophthalmology at Stanford School of Medicine. Today we are discussing ketamine. Ketamine is a fascinating compound, and it's one that nowadays is being used both clinically for the treatment of depression and suicidality and PTSD, and it is also a drug that is commonly abused. That is, ketamine is often used recreationally, and it has a high potential for abuse. So today we are going to discuss both the research on the clinical benefits of ketamine, as well as the risks of ketamine. We are going to discuss the mechanisms of action by which ketamine produces what are called dissociative states. I will define for you what a so-called K-hole is in scientific terms. I will talk about dosages of ketamine. I'll talk about delivery routes of ketamine. And throughout, I will be emphasizing both the clinical benefits and the risks, that is, the potential harms of using ketamine out of the appropriate clinical context. So by the end of today's episode, you will understand thoroughly what ketamine is, how it works in the brain and body to produce dissociative.
What's going on, preacher man? Good morning, my friend.
With 0.5 milligram per kilogram of body weight of ketamine. Now that dosage, 0.5 milligram per kilogram of body weight, turns out to be very important for today's discussion because it's going to serve as a reference point for later discussions when we get into other modes of delivery of ketamine, such as oral pill form ketamine or sublingual ketamine, and as it relates to things like the K-hole or the dissociative state, or the various effects that ketamine can have depending on the dosage and the delivery route. Meanwhile, going back to the study, what they found is that when they injected patients with severe
I've only been
depression
able to
with
pay
ketamine,
child support once.
the effects of
this
ketamine
month,
took
and,
place within minutes, within 10 or
I'm
15
always
minutes.
able to pay it
And
at
that
least
they experienced a
twice.
sort of peak euphoric state.
If I could
Okay,
fast
so they're not
forward time
inducing
about a
deep
week,
anesthesia.
I'd
Right?
probably
At this
have
dosage, they're
enough
getting
to
people into a kind of
send a little
euphoric,
$20
dreamy,
payment.
semi-dissociative state.
They've
That
been letting me
occurred
get away
within
with that
15 minutes and
because
really
as long as you
peaked
try,
about 45
they
minutes
won't
to an
put you
hour
in
after they
jail,
were injected with the
usually.
drug.
As long as you
And that the
try, it's
total
when you
effects
get
of
to
the
doing
drug
nothing.
in terms of euphoria were effectively over by
I
about
just
2
didn't want
hours
the few
or
people
so.
to check
And that
on
time
me
course of
thinking
effects
I
makes perfect
was
sense.
dead and
If you
shit,
look at, say,
man.
the half-life of ketamine, which is how long it takes for
Cause I
half of
feel
the
it
drug to be
come.
active in the
It'll
system,
be
etc.
a letter that
But
comes with a
what was
summons.
really interesting about
Or
this study
won't be
and
a
others
letter,
like
it'll
it
be a
is
cop that
that the
shows up.
patients experienced relief from their depression almost immediately after taking the drug. So within minutes to hours, and that it persisted for several days after taking the ketamine. Okay, so the dissociative, euphoric, dreamlike effects of ketamine take place very quickly. They're very, very salient, right? The person
like I said,
basically
all
is just
that woman
lying
the
there,
rest of my life.
experiencing this euphoric, dreamlike,
But,
dissociative state. And they get some relief from their depression immediately. And yet there's persistent relief from that depression, which lasted at least 3 days out from the treatment.
You can't blame
Now, a
them
key
for
theme of
not
today's discussion is going to be
punishing you
that the
if you at least
antidepressant effects
try.
of ketamine
You
appear
know,
to be
I've stayed
fairly
at-
short-lived,
I've been
at least
stuck
when
in
one
this
is exploring
disability loop
1
shit
or 2
and been
treatments with
able to
ketamine.
keep
In
up
other
child
words,
support
the
for
typical contour is that
almost 2
people will take
years
ketamine, get this euphoric, dreamlike, dissociative
and not
effect,
breaking the rules
come out
and
of
making
that
too much
feeling
money
some
and
immediate
stuff.
relief from their depression. This is one of the things that makes ketamine an incredibly
making,
attractive
you know,
drug for the
so
treatment of depression,
I think I did
especially
pretty
depression
good.
that hasn't responded to other forms of treatment, which is that people get relief very,
I
very
don't know. I've
quickly.
been working it
Indeed,
out
the
for about
same
2
day that they
years,
initiate
man.
the treatment. Now, this is especially important when you think about the fact that the monoamine hypothesis of depression, which drove
Sometimes
the
you gotta
discovery
pay the
and
piper.
development of all these drugs like SSRIs, Wellbutrin, et cetera, those drugs often can provide support for people with depression. Again, only 40% of people get true
God,
relief
like
from
I
their
said, they
depression.
just so
And
much
again, there
don't
are some
play
side
like
effect
that
issues or
around
major
here.
side
They
effect
just
issues in some
don't
cases
play
that
at
have to be
all.
dealt with. But even the positive effects, even under the best
Because they
conditions,
give you the
oftentimes those effects
opportunity,
don't kick in
you know,
for
to
weeks or
pay
months after somebody initiates
they-
taking the drug. Now,
$10,
that might not seem
$15
like a long time to
even, you know, they
wait
give you
for
the
some of you,
opportunity to
but if
just
you're
try.
somebody suffering from depression, even another day, even another hour with depression
Really can't-
seems almost
can't bitch too
unmanageable.
much.
And sadly, many people who have these forms of depression will go on to
I
commit
mailed 'em
suicide.
20
So it is ever so
on
important
about the
that there
second.
be rapid treatments for depression, even same-day treatments for depression, And based on the study, it appeared that ketamine was, and indeed still remains, that drug. Now, I certainly don't want to position ketamine in your mind as a miracle drug for depression. In fact, I don't actually believe in miracle drugs. I don't think that there is any compound that alone can produce all the desired effects that one wants without any negative effects in a way that could warrant calling it a miracle drug. That's just not how biology works. There's always an interplay between pharmacology, between our behaviors and what we choose to do or not do. This is a topic we'll get into a little bit later when we talk about antidepressive behaviors and the role of ketamine in bringing about antidepressive behaviors for the relief of depression. Now, with that said, the study that I just mentioned, as well as many other studies that followed, emphasize that ketamine can provide significant decreases in not just depression and suicidality, but also the feelings of helplessness and worthlessness that are associated with major depression. And again, it could do that in people that also were not responding to other forms of depression treatment, such as SSRIs, et cetera. So while we don't want to call it a miracle drug, ketamine turned out to be and remains an incredible drug for the treatment of depression in certain cases. Now, in addition to that, ketamine has been shown in clinical studies to provide relief not just for treatment-resistant depression of the major depression type, right? There's many different forms of depression, but major depression is the one that we're normally thinking about or referring to when we talk about depression. But ketamine has also been shown to be effective in treating bipolar depression, sometimes called bipolar disorder, although more commonly nowadays called bipolar depression. I did an entire episode, by the way, on bipolar depression. If you want to know what it is and what it isn't, how it differs from borderline personality disorder, et cetera, you can go to hubermanlab.com, just put into the search function bipolar, and it will take you to that episode. Ketamine has also been shown to be useful for the treatment of PTSD and for OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, and for anxiety and for various forms of substance addiction. So ketamine is not a miracle drug, but it does seem to have broad application and to be very successful for the treatment of a lot of major psychiatric challenges. Now, just because ketamine has shown these incredible applications, it also has some serious problems that are directly related to how it works in the brain, or at least from what we understand of how it works in the brain. What I'm referring to here is, yes, ketamine is very rapid acting. It can often provide relief from depression almost immediately, meaning same day. However, it is very short-lived. After about 3 days or a week or so, the antidepressant effects of ketamine often wear off. So that creates a situation where people perhaps need to take ketamine every week. And yet it creates enough of a dissociative state, meaning it takes people enough out of their normal daily routine that the prospect of people taking ketamine every week is actually not that feasible. And also because of some of the propensity for ketamine to become a drug of abuse, that is for it to be habit forming and or addicting. One also worries that if people are doing ketamine every week to treat their depression, that they can become so-called hooked on ketamine. Now, fortunately, there have been studies of ketamine and how it works, not just in the short term, but in the longer term, that have led to some very important clinical studies that have explored, for instance, people taking ketamine twice per week for a duration of 3 weeks total. And what they find is that, yes, after the first time they take it, they get some relief from depression. They take it a second time that week, they get some relief from depression. And they do the same thing the next week and the next week. And when they do that, they get relief from depression the whole way through that entire 3 weeks. But it turns out that there's also some so-called durability to the effect, such that if people do this twice a week dosing regimen, so ketamine twice a week for 3 weeks total, they find that when they end that 3 weeks, they get some ongoing relief from their depressive symptoms, which can extend months or more before they have to repeat the twice a week for 3 weeks regimen. Now, certainly not all studies of using ketamine for the treatment of depression have used that exact dosage regimen. Twice a week for 3 weeks and take some time off, repeat. Twice a week for 3 weeks, take some time off, repeat. Some have explored giving ketamine once per week or even 3 times per week, or doing it once a week for 5 weeks and then taking an extended period of time off before repeating the treatment schedule. There are a bunch of different studies out there, but when one looks at all of those studies en masse together, it's very clear that ketamine is providing relief from depressive symptoms immediately and in the days after the treatment. But that when those treatments are stacked fairly closely together, that there is some durability, some ongoing relief from depression. And what this tells us is very important. In fact, I hope everybody really highlight this in their minds as they're hearing it. It's very likely that ketamine is acting by at least 2 and probably 3 different mechanisms in order to provide relief from depression. One of those mechanisms induces relief from depression very quickly and seems to be associated with that euphoric, dissociative, dreamlike state that one experiences when they are under the influence of ketamine. The second mechanism seems to provide relief from depression in the days and weeks that follow the ketamine treatment. And there also appears to be a third mechanism by which ketamine can induce long-lasting changes in the nervous system. And it is those 3 mechanisms, short, medium, and long-term mechanisms, that produce the kinds of changes in neurochemistry and, more importantly, changes in actual neural circuit wiring that allows ketamine to provide this incredible relief from depression. So next, we're going to turn to what those mechanisms are, because in understanding those mechanisms, you will understand how ketamine provides this relief from depression, but you'll also come to understand the more important, broader theme of what depression is really all about at a neural circuit level, and how relief from depression is all about neuroplasticity. As many of you know, I've been taking AG1 daily since 2012, so I'm delighted that they're sponsoring the podcast. AG1 is a vitamin mineral probiotic drink that's designed to meet all of your foundational nutrition needs. And of course, I try to get enough servings of vitamins and minerals through whole food sources that include vegetables and fruits every day. But oftentimes, I simply can't get it.
I just don't. That's hard to go for. That's hard to go for.
Kid,
I'm so believe, you know.
to the people of God. We tried so hard. And we're
How did you try so hard? Tell me, since you're such a believer, what'd you do? You tried so hard? People just stand with whatever. I stand with Ukraine. I stand with the COVID vaccine. Saint Fauci, Saint Floyd, they are soulless. If someone came to this country and said, we're taking over, they'd jump on the bandwagon. They're already in. They hate the country. They'll do whatever they can to destroy the country. Welcome. Thanks. Come back to locals.
still fighting. And we'll keep fighting. And we won't let them get away
people asking questions.
And we'll tell the story of that.
Right.
Want to know what kind of shit power I've got to
How's that
deal
story
with
go?
today and all that
You were
good
going to tell the
stuff.
story from the beginning, the preamble.
Plenty of
30 guys,
comments.
AK-47s run into
Where's all that
Israel,
shit?
right? Start shooting up everything. That's the start of the story, right? Now, where it ended,
Not as interesting
you may not
when
like.
it's not
It
given,
seems like
is
the
it?
bombings are excessive. What do you do here? But he's going to tell the story, right? It's cute.
Remember the dead and try to bring those responsible to account. And I'm so sorry.
What do you do with somebody like this? Well, I could stand having compassion, feeling a little bit, right? Like watching a movie. It's not real to this person. These people that cry like this concern me because they can't feel this in their real heart. They can be apathetic, they can be upset. But when you're sobbing about St. Floyd, you're sobbing about Gaza, you have no relationship there. You see it on TV. You have empathy. The sobbing, the crazy part, they're already crazy, I guess is my point when I say that.
Jeffrey's following are adults who Jeffrey is helping deal with childhood trauma.
I want to talk to the kids. Hi, kids.
Hey, kids.
Hi, kids.
Hope
Hi,
everybody's
kids.
doing all
Hi,
right,
kids.
having a good
Hi,
morning.
kids. Hey, kids. Hey, kids. Hey, kids. I'm Jeffrey, and I am not a danger to children. I am a danger.
Okay, so you can take the truth, and they will never accept the truth. They will accept the opposite of the truth nonstop. I mean, again, Yuri Bezmenov, the talk, he says that. You'll see the truth, and you'll deny the truth. So Jeffrey March doesn't target children. Jeffrey March targets adults.
Thumbs up, fellas.
We've seen, hey, kids. And if you listen to the wording, which most adults don't watch this, they never pay attention to the wording of Jeffrey, it's towards small children. That is it. And Jeffrey is just an example. There's thousands of these that target small children into this, getting away from their family, from a moral compass. You know, the basic things we all should follow so we can have a happy, successful life. Success is whatever you define it as, but you're happy. You put a roof over your head, pay your bills. You're fundamentally happy. That's not what Jeffrey promotes at all.
My friends a bit ago described me as dog-coded, which became like my favorite thing ever, and now I can't stop using it. Specifically, I love pointing out when my friends do something dog-coded. You scare a bird away, dog-coded. You dig a big hole while we're—
People are sick, and they need to have a job. I don't know what people are doing for a living to sit around and do this. And when they do get a job, they complain that people don't accept them. You know, the pronouns right, and they moan all day. No work and stuff. This is the end of culture. This is like Rome in its final days. This is what people focus on. And all of them are on SSDI, sitting on their ass, government-funded housing we're paying for. They're not motivated. They don't want to work, yet they scream for communism, socialism, which forces them to work. It's priceless.
at the beach, dog-coded. Not the sun in my face, hold on. Or like, I collect bones, which is an extremely dog-coded hobby. I was telling one of my friends that I literally have a squirrel buried somewhere that I need to unbury for the bones, and they were like, you're literally a dog. Dog-coded is for the things a little less obvious than me wearing a collar and ears. Like, if you don't like high-pitched noises, dog-coded. I have a very dog-coded yawn. All
right, that's enough for this person. They need attention. Where are their parents? They're living in their parents' house, right? Their spare bedroom. Why do the parents say, listen, Junior, I appreciate all the fun and games. I know you're special, but we got to get back to reality. Do this on the weekend. You know, but you need to get a job. You need to get out of the house. You need to move on. That's what adults do. You're 25 now. Time to move on.
I do not now, nor will I ever condemn Hamas. I unequivocally support the liberation movements of all oppressed people around the world by any means made necessary.
That is the theme with these people. By any means necessary, no matter what it does to culture. Now, what happens if those oppressed people are on top? What do? See Liberia.
It's been raining a long time here. Lord God.
Butts and shuts in the sky, so the housing prices are not as high. Zillow cooked all of the books, so we keep the rent low. We don't hit anything. Just a couple bursts trigger the ring alerts, and we keep the rent low.
Hello, my friends. Yet another episode of Idiots with Guns. Now, you guys seem to like the last episode, so I thought, hey, why not do another one? Maybe you guys will enjoy this one too. I also want to say thank you so much for 100,000 subscribers. That shit's fucking insane.
Let it out.
I got a Q&A that I'm working on just so you guys can get to know me a little better, so make sure you put some questions down. More questions, the better. Now, in this episode of Idiots with Guns, we're going to be reacting to foreign homemade firearms, because you guys really liked the homemade firearms in the last one, so I thought, why not do a whole episode of homemade janky firearms? We're going to start a little bit small. This looks like a little bit of a 22 bolt action pistol. It's got some duct tape or fucking plumbing tape with, I don't know what that shit is on the back. They got a Sharpie cap holding it open as a fucking bolt safety. I don't know what the fuck they call those. But it looks like it functions. Honestly, I would want one. Like, would you not build one? I feel like this would be so awesome to have. Now this one, oh, what the fuck? This guy's got a motherfucking Magpul fucking AR grip melted to a, I don't know what that is. But then he's got a Magpul fucking angled grip on a pipe. And it says here that it's a 12 gauge shotgun. As you can see here, this is it put together. I don't know if it's like a slam fire shotgun pistol or something, but does it function? Now, I know I call this series Idiots with Guns. Not everybody in here are idiots, because some of these are some real goodies. like this man. I'm guessing this is some sort of looty type firearm. Honestly, it looks like it functioned. It probably functioned just as good as looties do, but this is, fuck, I don't know, was this Australia? It was somewhere where they don't allow guns, so a guy went, exercised his rights, and built a gun. I'm gonna dedicate this section of the video to the crack 10s.
Are you on drugs or alcohol? No, sir. You take drugs or alcohol? What is drugs?
So our first crack 10 looks like, you know, made with some sheet metal and stuff like that. It's got a can on it and everything. Fucking pretty sick. Looks like it's from Rust. Honestly, pretty tight. Wouldn't mind having one. Now our next crack 10 here has a real big fucking ass on it. It's got a plethora of ammunition. He's got some substances, questionable substances that would maybe give us an indication on why this is built this way. And then we have another one with, actually, wow, this one looks like it takes a Glock mag. Unless they just kind of shoved it in there. You can see it has like marks. I don't know, maybe they just shoved it in there to make it work, but they found a will and a way to make it work. They got them Obama phones. They crack like a crackhead does, right? I don't know if it actually functions with the Glock mag or they just kind of shove it up in there because I don't see a mag release or anything unless it's on the other side. But this thing is rusted as shit. I feel like I'd get tetanus holding it. He's got 10 whole rounds. Maybe he's living that California life. So this one was found in the waistband of a subject who admitted to carrying out robberies in Porto Velho. I'm not sure where that's at, but our man seems to have a love for money. Obviously, he's robbing. He's got no trigger guard. He's got one round of 38 special, I'm guessing. I'm not sure. It looks like he welded on some kind of fucking barrel that maybe works. He's got a nail as the bolt. Honestly, this thing just looks like it would blow up when it shoots. Fucking, my man's got himself a fucking COD blueprint of a gun. This one right here just looks like I would have made it if I was like in kindergarten or something. Like, you know how you would build guns out of cardboard or just like sticks and stuff? All right, this one's a goodie. I love this one. This one's got a lot we could dissect. So it looks like he's got some 3D printed magazines. That's cool. He's got a double barrel Derringer looking thing. Honestly, I don't know if that's homemade or not. If that's homemade, that is badass. He's got another little Derringer. And that, I don't know. That looks like a methinger. That's a meth Derringer, if you know what I mean. That just, I don't know. This guy really loves his Derringers. He's got all sorts of little break action fucking pistols. This guy's got a flashlight mounted onto his barrel with a scope mount. That's actually pretty smart, if you ask me. It looks like it's all welded together with some sheet metal, stuff like that. Honestly, super cool. I would love to see it function. What kind of projectile that shoots? I don't know. A big fucking round. And then this, I was really questioning this one. This man, look, it's got a Glock frame. It says Glock. I don't know if this is from like a toy or something, but at the top, it then has like a hammer, a brake barrel. I don't know if that's a functional firearm. I'm really curious what goes through these people's heads because, wow, that's crazy. And then this one, I don't know if this thing is covered in a ton of electrical tape or if this is like a gas pump that he cut up and converted into a firearm. If so, wow, because he's got the Amazon red dot on there. He's got the Picatinny rail at the bottom. He's got the trigger. Honestly, I would call this the gas pump pistol. And at the top, I don't know what that is. I'm guessing it's some kind of baton or maybe a cattle prod. I'm not sure, but wherever this man is, he's probably doing time in prison. Oh my God, this one. This guy's not an idiot. I love this, but it's on Idiots with Guns. This is another homemade firearm. He's got an amazing looking gun. Honestly, I would buy this and use it. This looks fucking great. He's got a can on the end that's probably really nice. He's got real nice looking wood furniture on there. It looks like it was maybe made with like pipes and stuff, like to see the little nuts on the end. Honestly, I'm pretty sure this thing functioned quite well, and it's sad that he got it taken away. Now you want M16A2, right? But mom says we have M16A2 at home. This is M16A2 at home. So it looks like it's made with nuts and bolts. It's got the carry handle, you know.
God.
It's oh man, I'm sorry. This thing, I don't know. This thing just looks like a Minecraft gun. Like if guns, this is what this would be. Like, oh my gosh, these people are actually really amazing when they build their firearms. It's crazy. I wish I had the drive like they do.
Minecraft.
I'm going to start this one out differently than normal. This is not going to be like my Cyrax, Chibi, Blade.
How's everybody doing out there? Good morning. Thank you all for the thumbs up. I hope it's not, but this might be one of my last going lives. I wondered how this shit worked on here. Shut the fuck up. Jesus. Shit. Mm. Jeez, man, it's just fucking nuts, and it's just the most worrisome ass thing when that motherfucker's just ping, 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 ping. Shut the fuck up. You ignorant ass son of a bitch. Oh, I've got so much I'd like to tell motherfuckers. No, I'm not talking about you guys or anything like that. Just a lot on my mind. Damn, usually I've had up to like 10 people in here and stuff. This is the first time. There's never been. I'm trying a little bit different strategy, and I hate to see that it's working out. Well, I guess I'm fixing to get off here. I can't. This will be the first time really not had a chat session. 43 minutes in. Hope everybody's doing alright. Have a good one, everybody.